Hi everyone, this is BritSimon. I just want to publish some information about the visa bulletin for interviews in November. Some interesting information. Let's get into that. Okay, so the visa bulletin has now been released. Firstly, the first unusual thing was the 15th of every month is normally the deadline for when the visa bulletin will be published. This month, the 15th was a Sunday. They don't normally publish at the weekend, so it wasn't a tremendous surprise they didn't publish on the weekend, but normally I would have expected them to have published either on the Friday prior to the weekend or very early on the Monday morning. Actually, they didn't publish the visa bulletin until early hours of this morning on the 18th. So it's actually 3 days late technically. You could say a couple of days late actually because it's very early on the 18th. Um, there's no real problem with that. I mean, you must understand the visa bulletin is mainly about other types of visas. It's not about the diversity visa lottery. It concerns family-sponsored information, employment-based immigration, and then finally the immigration that comes through the diversity visa. The diversity visa is only 5% of overall immigration, so the fact that it didn't include the fact that it was late uh, does not mean that there was any problem with diversity. That's very unlikely. There's some other reason that they were late this month. So let's have a look at the numbers that have been published for a start. Firstly, there's a very interesting piece here. Uh, some of you will know that NACARA has been taking an allocation out of the original 55,000 visas for around about 20 years now. And then there was a clue this year when the 1NLs, selected letters, came out. They didn't discuss the normal 50,000 visas being available. They talked about 55,000 visas being available. I've published information about this on my blog before. And the speculation was that NACARA has been removed from DV 2020. Actually, we now see that there is still an allocation for NACARA, but it's a very small one. 350 visas are being allocated towards NACARA out of the 55,000 for DV 2020. So that is an official announcement, if you like, of what we've suspected for a couple of months. That NACARA is going to be almost no impact to this year, DV 2020, and that more visas are available. Those visas are shared amongst the regions in the percentage allocations for each region. So essentially, it just means there are more visas available this year than have been officially available in previous years. That's a good thing. It's something I'd already factored into my predictions in terms of saying that all regions could get current this year. So it's not a big surprise, but it is confirmation of what we had suspected. Okay, and then let's talk about the cutoffs for the month of October, for November rather. The visa bulletin has two sections to it. One section is the section we already know about, and then here's the new numbers for interviews that will apply in the month of November. As we can see, there's been a reasonable increase in each of the regions. Some of these numbers are lower than I had expected at this point. Some are exactly where I had expected. So, overall, it's probably slightly under, what I'd hoped for at this point, but that doesn't mean anything in terms of the end point. If you imagine filling a bucket with water, the speed at which you fill the bucket with water doesn't matter. The point is the bucket still holds the same amount of water. So sometimes you'll pour the water slowly, sometimes you pour it fast. That's exactly what's going on. They're not going as fast at the beginning as they could do, but that doesn't mean anything in terms of where they'll finish up. I had also explained in a previous video that the months of October, November, December are traditionally slow for DV progress because they start off slow, partly to finish off the end of last year. DV 2019 interviews are going to continue until September, the end of September. So they want to give as much time towards that effort as they can. But also in November and December, there are holidays. So for the whole of October, November, December, actually, people in America wander around saying happy holidays. Because Thanksgiving is a big holiday here in November. Christmas is another big holiday. Halloween is in October. And so, generally speaking, for the month of October, November, and December, there are less working days. And the DV progress therefore is a little bit slower. We'll only start to see big increases in January and February. I don't expect December to be a big jump from where we are now. Why would they give themselves a busy December when Christmas is going to be happening? November is the end of November is when Thanksgiving is. So I don't expect to see a big increase until January interviews. Okay, so here's where we're at. You can see the numbers. They're pretty good. Like I say, I wouldn't be concerned about these numbers at all. So essentially, if your number is less than 5,600 in Africa, then you could, in theory, be interviewed in the month of November. That's only if you've submitted your DS-260, it's been processed, and they've asked you or you have submitted your documents. Only then will you be interviewed in the month of November if your number is under this number. If you've submitted your documents early and your number is 50,000 or something, it doesn't matter. You're not going to get, just because you submitted your documents earlier, you're not going to get an early interview until your number is current. Okay? So I hope that explains that. I've got another video to publish in a moment, which is exciting news. Watch out for that one. And it concerns DV 2021. But this is for DV 2020. We're in the second month. It's the second month of 12 months. No need to freak out about these numbers. It's a gradual process. This is what I've explained already. It's a gradual process, and so you have to be patient and you wait for this process to develop over the year. Anyway, I hope that's helpful for you. Please read my blog, subscribe to these videos, make sure you're getting the most accurate, up-to-date information. Thank you.